Chapter 1. Igniting the Spark, the man behind the search engine. When the world first heard the name Larry Page, most people imagined a man who had simply built a search engine that answered questions almost instantly. Yet beneath that simple premise lay a mind that dreamed of connecting everyone in the world to a seemingly infinite sea of knowledge. Born in 1973 in East Lansing, Larry Page was captivated by computers from an early age. He was a child of curiosity who saw the world not as problems, but as puzzles waiting to be solved. In his earliest university days at Stanford, while surrounded by other bright minds, he quietly began writing a program that could crawl the web and organize its pages, an idea that would later become Google. Page's historical significance is not only measured by market capitalization or patents. Rather, it is measured by the philosophical shift he drove, making information universally accessible and useful. He famously said, "The best way to get something done is to give people the data and let them solve it." That quote is the cornerstone of a philosophy that values data, experimentation, and the relentless pursuit of knowledge. You too can tap into that same spark. Start by asking the question, what problem could I solve with the data I have? The very act of formulating a question is the first step in turning curiosity into action. Try keeping a small notebook or a digital note that captures daily questions you have about your work or personal life. You will be surprised how many of these become the seeds of innovation. Key takeaway: curiosity is the engine of innovation. Page's example shows that turning questions into data-driven experiments can transform the world. Like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed this journey into the origins of a digital titan. Reflective question. In your life, what question are you waiting to ask so that you can turn it into a reality? Chapter 2. The Alphabet of Innovation, Core Principles of Larry Page. Larry Page's visionary path can be distilled into 5 core principles that he consistently lived and taught: curiosity, data liberation, long-term vision, iterative experimentation, and the belief that the world holds more information than we can grasp at any moment. Curiosity fuels the flame. "I was born to a world of infinite information," he once told a conference. He reminds us that asking more and staying inquisitive is a competitive advantage. Data liberation is about making knowledge freely available, a principle so close to Page's heart that he famously helped launch the OpenAI movement. He has said, "By sharing data, we accelerate collective progress." Long-term vision pushes beyond short-term returns. Page's refusal to sell Google for a $1 billion offer when it was in its early days shows that believing in an idea is more important than immediate profit. Iterative experimentation. Page's search algorithm is constantly tweaked. He famously told an intern, "If you build the perfect algorithm today, it won't be perfect tomorrow." Finally, the belief that more data is better than less. He often mused that the universe contains far more information than we can ever digest, so technology is required to distill meaning. As individuals and entrepreneurs, we can apply these principles in small ways. Ask, are you curious enough to explore new data sources? Do you share your findings with others? Do you hold on to vision despite market noise? Do you iterate often and fear failure? Are you actively searching for data that others may not yet know about? Key takeaway: Page's philosophy can be practiced every day. Embed curiosity, share data, keep eye on the future, experiment relentlessly, and remember that there's always more information to uncover. Like, share, and subscribe to keep learning from one of the most innovative thinkers of our era. Reflective question: which of Page's 5 principles feels most natural to you, and which one can you commit to cultivating this week? Chapter 3. Building the Machine, How Page Turned Principles into Practice. To bring his principles to life, Larry Page built the most famous technology company on the planet and a culture that rewarded boldness. The story of 1998 is a perfect illustration. Page and Sergey Brin, 2 Stanford graduate students, met in a dorm, shared a simple algorithm, and then faced the harsh reality of funding. At a coffee shop, a potential investor asked them if they were willing to keep building the index of the entire web even if it would never pay off. Page did not flinch. He said, "Our first engine was a tool, but we believed in the possibility of making every piece of information in the world findable." In practice, Page's first pivot was creating a page ranking algorithm that used link structure to determine importance. He repeatedly refined it, releasing dozens of versions of PageRank. He said, "We did not rely on black boxes. We kept the algorithm open to change and experimentation." When it was time to sell Google to an enterprise platform, he chose not to trade early. He invested instead in AI and self-driving cars, even when the tech seemed impossible. At a key moment in 2015, he launched Google's research lab on artificial intelligence under the belief that future success hinged on machine learning. These stories highlight how Page's core principles shaped concrete actions. Curiosity led to searching the web, data liberation led to making page links public. Long-term vision kept Google focused on information, not only profit. Iterative experimentation kept the algorithm constantly improving, and the belief in more data pushed the company into AI. You can learn from his example by experimenting with a small side project that is aligned with a long-term goal. Use a data source you have access to, say, your own social media analytics, and make it public as well as you can. Use iterative releases, test one new feature, learn, then refine. Key takeaway: to practice Page's wisdom, put your principles into motion. Experiment, iterate, and keep your vision focused on long-term impact. Like, share, and subscribe if you want more examples of visionary practice. Reflective question: what small experiment could you launch today that aligns with a bigger, long-term impact you desire? Chapter 4. Modern Alchemy: Applying Larry Page's Wisdom in Today's Life. The world has moved beyond search, but the lessons embedded in Page's philosophy are still potent. Curiosity can be nurtured online. Use the internet as a sandbox, try free courses, experiment with online communities, and continually ask, what can I learn next? Data liberation in the age of privacy means transparency. Offer your products or insights openly so others can validate and learn from them. Create dashboards that your customers can view. Long-term vision must incorporate sustainability. If your startup thrives on short-term gains, it may be trapped in a growth spiral that never truly values knowledge. Align your roadmap with a vision that spans 10 to 20 years. Iteration becomes essential with automation and AI. Integrate small tests into your product lifecycle. If you run an e-commerce store, test a new checkout flow in a segment of traffic and measure the outcome before full rollout. The belief that there is more data than we see points to the potential of AI. Even if you are not a data scientist, you can harness AI tools to unlock insights from your customer data, your industry reports, and global trends. Concrete examples: if you're an individual, ask, how can I use AI to automate repetitive tasks? If you're a business, publish your data sets for community use to attract developers. Use Page's iterative approach. Create an MVP, gather feedback, refine, and repeat. Key takeaway: Page's principles are a recipe for resilience in the modern era. Curiosity, data sharing, long-term focus, iteratives, and data abundance create an ecosystem of continuous learning and innovation. Like, share, and subscribe for more actionable insights from the most influential minds of the 21st century. Reflective question: which of Page's principles will you prioritize today to make a difference in your own sphere of influence? Chapter 5. Beyond the Search: The Enduring Legacy of Larry Page. Larry Page's life is a testament to turning curiosity into a global movement. He built a platform that turned information into a living, breathing organism that everyone could tap into. His relentless pursuit of knowledge and willingness to share it with the world has forever altered how we perceive the internet. From a personal standpoint, his legacy is a reminder that greatness does not rest on a single breakthrough, but on a series of disciplined steps. Ask questions, harness data, keep vision open, iterate relentlessly, and never stop learning. If you aim to grow today, replicate Page's habit of treating data as raw materials on a table that can be reshaped into useful tools. Treat each question you face as an opportunity to create a new solution. Conclusion and call to action. This script has walked you through the life, principles, practices, and modern relevance of Larry Page. Remember, Curiosity is your engine, data your fuel, long-term vision your compass, iterative experimentation your toolkit, and the world's limitless information your playground. Like, share, and subscribe if you found value in this exploration of Larry Page's wisdom. If you've enjoyed this content, please give it a thumbs up, share it with someone who could use a dose of motivation, and subscribe for more tales of ingenuity and insight. Key takeaway: when you emulate Larry Page's mindset, you not only advance in business or personal growth, you become part of a larger movement that reshapes humanity's relationship with knowledge. Reflective question: how will you take one step today to turn curiosity into action, following the path carved by Larry Page?